This is devlog week number 2. State of production for what's project being called Zyberia at the time, or for right now. So state of production. I've been putting a lot of work into the character controls before moving forward. Decided that was a pretty good idea. There was just a lot of work that needed to be done. Right now, the aiming system, has gotten. I really like where it's at. There's still some textures on it that I guess are just alpha. Those will definitely need to be changed. Just placeholder stuff, but it looks pretty good. The inspiration for that was Men of War. What was Assault Squad? Men of War, Assault Squad 2. Yeah, you can do the direct control with the infantry units. That was what inspired that. That was definitely a challenge. The aiming finally got able to replicate over a network, so that was good. Camera function, I like how it is for now. Probably will revisit it just to change the pitch, but I don't know. You can zoom in and out, and you can rotate the camera. If you hold down the middle mouse button, you can hold down. If you hold down the middle mouse button, you can rotate the camera. So currently, I like where all that's at so far. The weapons, managed to get that switched over to projectiles. It does damage. I really like how that is all set up. It's pretty good base for if I want to have like rocket launchers or not necessarily grenades, but just any type of projectile other than one that has like an arc to it. One that's just going from A to B at a particular speed. It's pretty good. I may want to revisit that later. Because grenades are something that I would like to have. Not like a necessity, but like the game could definitely function without them, but it would definitely be a cool addition. Haven't really done any work on physics. Really just left that alone. Kind of like I said, getting the player controls down pat is really something I want to get done before moving forward to any of the other complicated, fancy things, I guess I should say. I have begun some initial testing on entering buildings, multi-story buildings to be specific. I started out testing just a single-story building. So you enter and then the roof kind of like occludes, goes invisible, or at least the opacity changes, and that looked pretty good. But then I wanted to see what it would be like if you removed. So say you're down on the first floor, and then you have all the above floors disappear, or at least change their opacity, and it looks okay. Then I also tried with the walls, and it's just kind of funky. The way I have it set up right now is, well, at least the way it is set up right now, is that if there's, and it's still kind of glitchy too, it's if the camera arm, if there's a mesh that comes between that the camera arm collides with, basically, that mesh will get occluded if that certain texture, material is applied to it. So I mean, it works, but it's not necessarily ideal. And I mean, if you're just doing like a single-story roof or single-story building, it'll work pretty good. And something else that I was kind of worried about was, the because of the way that the aiming works, could I go inside of a building and still aim at like the floor and not at the roof? And I didn't really do a whole lot of testing on that, but from what it appears, I would be able to walk into a building, have the roof go transparent to a degree, and then aim at the floor or the walls, or like if there was an enemy inside, I could do that. Didn't do a whole lot of testing on it, but it appears that would be the case, which made me happy. Won't have to do a whole lot of finagling on that. There is an issue that I do see coming on the horizon with that, so if I was to do the multiple floors all occluded at once, then the player would be able to see enemies or items that are above them, in an area that they haven't explored yet. And that's not necessarily ideal. So either have it so they can't see those items, or so like those items would be occluded with the floor or ceiling or whatever, or make it so the player is only able to view one floor at a time. That would be my most ideal scenario. Not quite sure how I'm going to accomplish that. I may have to reach out for some help with that. Not sure how I'm going to do that. Yeah, so that's kind of on my to-do list, my next step. Because finishing up these character controls, like the base of how the character interacts with the world, I want to get that done before I really move on to any of the other more complex things. So I guess next up for what I hope to accomplish in this next week, I'm finishing up a pretty solid base for the character controls, which I feel I already have, but mainly just getting into the buildings, making sure that things replicate properly with the aiming, the shooting of the projectiles. I would like to get at least a four-wheeled vehicle, something that's drivable in there. It doesn't even have to be animated correctly or anything. Just something that the player can hop in and drive around. And at least the physics work for it for the player. It doesn't have to replicate, as long as it works for the single player one, as long as it works for them. Multi-level buildings, that's something that I definitely would like to finish. If not, I'm probably not going to finish it this week. It'll probably be before the end of the month. It's August 11th right now, so hopefully by the end of the month I can get that done. That'd be really cool. I'm hoping to have all that done before too long, because then I can start getting art assets in, make it look pretty, and having a main menu of some sort would be really nice. Thanks for dropping in, and I will keep you posted. I'll see you in a week. Thanks. Bye.